Make sure your titles make people curious. Hook your viewers within the first 15 seconds of your video. Cut out anything that isn't crucial to the story. Create your thumbnails before you start filming. Put a lot of time into choosing the right music. Every creator who's watched videos about how to grow on YouTube has heard this advice over and over and over, and it definitely works. But in this video, I'm gonna go much deeper than that. This is going to be completely different from any other YouTube strategy guide you've seen before. So if I were you, I would just sit down, relax for a bit, and take some notes and enjoy the video. I'm going to help you build the foundation of the mindset I think you should adopt in order to grow as a creator. So if you're really serious about that, I would suggest you stick around till the end. And you might be thinking, why should I listen to this guy? He doesn't even have 1,000 subscribers yet. And you're right, I don't. And I'll tell you why. On my 2 years as a content creator, I did things the wrong way. First, I created gaming content, which looking back, I never really felt proud of that because I felt like I spent too much time gaming instead of being productive. And I also lacked consistency, but most importantly, I didn't have a strategy. I simply ran around like a headless chicken and did what 99% of other small creators do. I bought a camera, I bought a microphone, and I started streaming video games. It took me 2 days, Jesus Christ. It took me 2 years to realize what I was doing wrong, but I finally did it. Last week, I sat down for about 10 hours and I came up with what I believe is the best strategy I could have came up with to grow as a creator moving forward. And by now you're probably wondering, what is this strategy? And I'll tell you. It basically consists of asking yourself 10 very important questions. And in this video, I'm gonna not only tell you what those questions are, but I'm also gonna share my answers, my very honest answers to those questions with you. Out of the 12 videos that I've made on this channel, this is by far the most important one and the most meaningful one, as it required a lot of self-reflection. So I really hope it helps you, and if it does, please let me know in the comments and subscribe. This is the very first question you should ask yourself, and to be honest, the most important one in my opinion. I think you should do nothing until you've answered this question very truthfully, and it doesn't only apply to content creation, it applies to everything in life. Everything. What is my why? Why am I creating content? Why am I doing this? And this is such a powerful one because when things get tough, and they will get tough, your why is the only thing that will keep you going. And my answer to this question is, I want to make the world a better place. I want to help people who are struggling, and I'm very passionate about this because I personally have been struggling for years to find discipline and to find purpose. All this time, I wished there was someone who could have helped me by showing me how they overcame the same obstacles that I'm facing. I do realize that this is a very personal thing, and there is no one-size-fits-all formula, and it simply requires an ungodly amount of work and willpower, but a few pointers on how to get started or how to not lose momentum, that would have been great. I truly believe I am a good man with very strong values, and I will achieve big things in life, but I don't want to be remembered as someone who only helped himself. I want to be remembered as someone who helped other people along the way. I also want to put so much positivity out there and impact so many lives that I couldn't possibly lose sight of what I'm trying to achieve or why I'm trying to achieve that. I'm not only passionate about pushing and motivating other people when they need it, but I'm excited about being surrounded by people with big goals and ambitions so that I can also get motivated when I inevitably have one of those days when I'm feeling down. The second question you want to ask yourself is, what are my objectives as a content creator? And this will allow you to measure your progress and performance instead of just randomly creating content, hoping it performs well. I personally have a couple of objectives, and the first one is very, very simple, and it's to create a platform that I can use to do good things. And by good things, I mean add people to my viewers' life in a variety of ways through my content. The second objective that I have is to create a community of like-minded people who are interested in taking control of their own lives by consuming content that will improve their daily habits and allow them to make friends who will push them forward when things get tough. Life is about people. We need to feel like we belong. We need to feel like we matter. And creating a community that gives people those things, those feelings, is definitely one of my most important objectives. And during my past 2 years as a content creator, I was able to build the most amazing community, and I want to keep welcoming new people in. The third question you're gonna want to ask yourself is, why should people care about what I have to say? I'm not special. I'm not gifted. I'm not extremely charismatic, and I'm definitely not a great public speaker. But what I do have are good intentions. Good intentions and a desire to grab what has been a pretty mediocre life these past 3 to 4 years and invest in myself and take it to the next level. I think it would be fairly accurate to say that at 27, I've lived around a third of my life. And while I'm proud of what I've done and what I've accomplished with my life, I deep down know that I have the heart, the mental capacity, and the drive to achieve much greater things. I want to reach my goals. I want to create an amazing, loving, united family, provide for them, take care of them. And like I said before, I want to make the world a better place. Too many people nowadays try to monetize bad news, tragedies, gossip, and they try to get others' attention by spreading negativity. And I feel like these past few years, there's been so much negativity out there with, the pandemic, the war, and countless other things that I feel like I need to intervene to the best of my ability and start spreading positivity instead. My promise to you, and the reason why I believe people should care about what I have to say, is that as a thank you for you wanting to, watch my content and support me, and because I'm proud of you for wanting to improve your life and take control of your future, I promise that I will always have your best interest and your well-being in mind. I want you to win. And a common misconception that a lot of people have nowadays is that for someone to win, somebody else has to lose. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. We can all win. But for that to happen, we need to start prioritizing kindness over greed. The fourth question you want to ask yourself is, who is my target audience? And that will help you understand what the people who watch you want to see from you.
What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
So I thought about this for a while, and I think my target audience consists of people who are similar to me and have the same interests. I personally like self-development, obviously personal growth. I love storytelling and marketing and business. So people around my age or older are usually interested in that kind of thing. Not everybody, of course, but I know I want to target people who are eager to take control of their own lives, people who are still on a journey of self-discovery, and they just want to improve and get better. I think the type of content that I like to consume and create can easily be perceived as too heavy or too serious. And I'll take the liberty of making the assumption that most people who are on YouTube are there to entertain themselves and watch something that will take their minds off of whatever they're dealing with on a daily basis. So an escape, if you will. I've certainly been there, I'm no exception. Since I was a kid, I've used YouTube to entertain myself and relax and have fun, but I've also used it to learn more about myself and how to grow as an individual. And sometimes content around personal development can feel like work, It's not as fun as watching a compilation of funny cat videos. And that's simply because it requires the viewer's full attention. I'm fully aware that this type of content is not likely to ever reach the masses, and I'm completely okay with that. I know my content will not be for everyone, but regardless of that, I will strive to create the most valuable content for those people who are in fact interested in hearing what I have to say, or are looking for advice, inspiration, or ways to improve their daily life. And I'm not saying that I have the answers to all of those things by any means. But what I am saying is I myself am looking for those answers, and I'd love to be able to bring you along with me so that you and I can learn something together. The fifth question you want to ask yourself is, what makes me different from other content creators? Listen, this is a tough one. I think most of us at some point in our lives have struggled to answer this question. Whether you're applying for a job, or you're trying to get that guy you like or that girl you like to like you back, or whatever it is, we've all been in that situation where we've wondered what makes us different from our competition. And I've certainly failed to answer that question several times in my life because it's so damn hard to answer. Listen, I like to think that I keep things real and that I'm very genuine in what I say, and I don't have ulterior motives. And that alone makes me different from a big chunk of people out there. And that's good enough for me, if I'm being honest. I'd be silly to think that I'm 100% unique. I'm not, and I don't feel like I have to be completely different from everyone else. I get inspiration from other creators. I get ideas from things in my surroundings every day. And this is very important, No matter what I do, I always try to add a little bit of me to the equation. After giving that question a little bit more thought, what makes me unique or different, I came to the conclusion that I'm not the best person to answer that question. My views about myself will always be biased, positively or negatively. I will admit that I've suffered from, imposter syndrome in the past a few times. So if there is someone who is more capable or able to answer that question, what makes me unique, it's you, my viewer. So if you have any idea why you decide to watch my videos, my content, and if you think you know what makes me unique or different from other creators that you watch, please let me know in the comments, because I'm very interested in finding out the answer to that question. Number 6, how do I find a formula that allows me to upload consistently without burning out or feeling overwhelmed? For me, I think I should not set unrealistic expectations when it comes to my upload schedule. I think, in my opinion, uploading a video every 2 to 3 weeks, especially as a full-time worker, is more than okay. Especially if the kind of video that I want to create is, well thought out content that is meant to provide my viewers with value. I have to prepare it. I have to really think about what I want to say, so that the 8 to 10 minutes that you spend watching my video, you actually feel like you got something good from it, something that you can use in your day-to-day. If I did, let's say, reaction videos, it would be a lot easier for me to upload more frequently. I guess how frequently you upload will highly depend on how much thought you want to put into your content and how well produced you want it to be as well. Aside from that, I think automating as many manual tasks as possible is crucial. Creating video editing templates, reusing effects, finding a thumbnail format that works for you. I think that would be extremely helpful when it comes to saving time. If you were to come up with extremely different and complex ideas and use different editing styles and thumbnails and video formats, every time you upload, it would become extremely exhausting and unsustainable for sure, especially for someone who works full time and only has that, after 6 p.m. to work on their channel. So identifying an opportunity to create content that feeds off of itself would be a very smart idea, like a series, for example. Every episode, the content will be a little different, which keeps it fresh, but not so different that you have to sit down every week and go, right, what do I want my next video to be about? But I'll also say it has to make sense. If at any point you think your series is not bringing anything new to the table and you're just being lazy, please stop and think of new ideas. Do not be like the writers of The Walking Dead, please. Man, that show, bro. It should have been like 5 seasons. But I also kind of watched the whole thing, and I'm also watching Daryl Dixon now in Dead City, so can you blame them? And you might be wondering what a series on YouTube would look like. If you are a creator whose content revolves around financial advice, you might want to consider creating a series where each week you educate your audience on a different type of financial assets. What are bonds, what are options, what are stocks. If you're in the gaming space, you might want to try to do a series of videos where you prove or disprove myths in a specific video game, or you ask your viewers to give you very difficult challenges that you have to complete for your next video. Or in my case, now that I've started doing content around personal development, I might want to create a series where I document my personal growth and I keep track of 2 to 3 objectives that are very important to me. Wait, did I say might? Scratch that. I will be doing that. And subscribe so you don't miss it. Question number 7. How can I collaborate with other creators to expand my reach? It's no secret that one of the best things you can do to grow on YouTube is to collaborate with other creators. That not only lets you expand your horizons by meeting like-minded people and making new friends, but it also lets both creators introduce themselves to each other's audiences. Now, I've never really collabed with anyone before. I think the closest thing I've done to a collab was streaming with other streamer friends, but that's about it. So it's something I'm really excited about. To make this happen, I first need to start consuming more personal development content, and more specifically, content made by smaller creators. Let's be honest, I'm not collaborating with Jay Shetty or Gary Vaynerchuk anytime soon. I mean, I'd love to, but I need to work my way up there. So what would collabing with other people look like for me? One thing I'm very interested in trying is interviewing other creators, kind of like what Stephen Bartlett does in his podcast, Diary of a CEO, or like Sean Evans does in Hot Ones. Collabing with other YouTubers or creators doesn't always have to be about making content together and putting it out there. It might also be, you reaching out to someone on social media or Twitter, Instagram, or wherever they interact with their audience, and just reaching out, sending them a message, actually building a genuine relationship with them. And it might lead to friendship. It might lead to you bouncing off ideas of each other and getting feedback on your editing or your writing or scripting, whatever it is. And that's also a form of collabing, and it's very, very valuable. The point I'm trying to make is you need to put yourself out there more often, and you need to meet more people and work with them, not against them. Like I said before, we can all win. We're not enemies, and there's space for everyone at the top. Question number 8. Damn, we're almost at the end of the video. I really hope you're enjoying it and it's been valuable for you. And if it has, please hit that like button and subscribe, as it really helps me out. So yeah, question number 8, how can I improve my video production quality, including audio, video, and editing? Well, this is an interesting one, to say the least. And I think it's interesting because it can be a double-edged sword, depending on how you look at it. On one hand, you have creators who use not having the most expensive and state-of-the-art equipment as an excuse to not get started, or if they have started, they think that not having all this crazy equipment is the sole reason why they haven't made it as creators yet. On the other hand, you have creators who put a lot of effort into making their videos look extremely professional and sharp, and that absolutely leads to their videos performing better. But that isn't everything. A great chef can still make you a delicious meal, even if you give them a shitty knife. Hands. Corner. Okay, moving on. If you look at the videos that some of these top-notch creators made years ago, they do not look as good as they do nowadays. Hell, my first video was a lot worse than this one. Take a look.
Hello guys, my name's Brian, I'm 15 years old, and I'm gonna be a new commentator.
Shit, sorry, I went too far back. I meant this one here. League of Legends is a fun game, but it can also be a bit frustrating at times. 2 years ago, I started streaming with this camera, and a couple of months later, I bought this camera, and now I have this camera. I also started streaming with my laptop's microphone, which was unbelievably bad, and then I got another mic, and now I have this one. The point that I'm trying to make here is, do not wait until you have the perfect setup to get started, and don't blame your equipment if your videos or streams aren't performing well. Work on your levels of energy, improve your editing, improve your content, try to make it more entertaining, and find a group of friends who will be honest with you and show them every single one of your videos and thumbnails before you upload them so they can give you feedback. Focus on this. Every video you put out needs to be at least 1% better than your previous video. By the time you upload your 100th video, that video will be 100% better than your first one.
Perspective.
Absolutely love this quote by Gary Vaynerchuk, who's been an incredible source of inspiration and education for me since I was about 20, and I'm now 27, so yeah, 7 years of following this guy.
Perfection's the disguise of insecurity.
The real reason why you want something to be perfect before you put it out there for the world to see is because we might be insecure and scared of what people will say, and if people will judge it. People are very quick to judge, and I know this is easier said than done, but the secret lies in not giving a fuck what people think. Number 9, how can I use social media platforms to grow my YouTube channel? This can be scary, which is why most people don't do it, including myself. I did it for a while, and because it was so difficult and time consuming, I just stopped. But now I realized that I was going about it the wrong way. What some people don't realize when creating content for different platforms is that each platform has its own kind of endemic content that performs well in that platform. You might not notice it because it's not blatantly different, but the content that performs well on TikTok is slightly different than the content that performs well on Reels or YouTube Shorts, even though the video format is so similar. And why is that? Well, it's got to do with the difference in algorithms and user demographics and many other things that I'm not going to get into, not because I don't want to waste your time, but because I don't know myself. When I stream League of Legends 3 to 4 times a week, I would, grab a couple of plays that I made during the streams. I would edit them a little bit, add some music, and then post them on TikTok. Now, a couple of my TikToks got 20, 30,000 views, but most of them tanked at around 1,000 views. So does that mean my content wasn't good? Absolutely not. It just meant that it wasn't the right type of content for TikTok. TikToks are meant to be fast-paced, funny, sometimes educational, but short as well. So if someone wants to see nice League of Legends plays, they would probably go to YouTube instead. So unfortunately, we must spend some time strategizing and thinking how to adapt our content so that it also performs well on other platforms. And by the way, I would urge you not to look at YouTube growth as the ultimate goal. Growing on other platforms is also extremely valuable. I don't think this is going to happen anytime soon, but YouTube might disappear one day. And if YouTube was all you had, you'll just lose it all. Now, how will I personally be using social media to grow my channel? I will start by engaging with and interacting with fellow creators on Instagram and Twitter, interacting with my followers, and perhaps creating clips from smaller clips from videos like this one that I feel will do well on those platforms. And yes, it will take some time, but if you want to see the results, you got to put in the work. And last but not least, at number 10, we have what KPIs and data should I regularly track to measure my channel's performance? I will start this one by asking you a very important favor. Do not, under any circumstances, by any means whatsoever,
for any reason, do anything to anyone for any reason ever, no matter what.
do not become a slave to your analytics. Do not obsess with metrics. Do not check how many subscribers you have every single day. And don't get me wrong, this is easier said than done, and checking your analytics will help you a bunch of times. But if you're always checking how many subscribers you have and you become obsessed with this number, you will easily fall out of love with content creation.
Getting halted on the down. Oh my God. Worst case scenario right now. Worst case scenario.
Your mood and your how you feel about your content and even your self-image will always depend on how many subscribers you got that day, which is extremely bad. And this is exactly what I was talking about in the beginning of this video. Having a very strong and clear why is extremely important. You will have bad days on YouTube, and if you're like me, you will even go weeks without getting a single subscriber. And when you have a couple of good weeks, which will also happen, you might start becoming accustomed to it, and those numbers might become your new baseline or your new standard. And you really have to be careful, because if suddenly one of your videos gets 500 views instead of 1,000 views, you might get sad or demotivated instead of focusing on the fact that 500 fucking people sat there and watched something you created. Like, that's crazy. So isn't it easier to simply put all your focus and energy into improving your content and making each video better than the last? If you do that, you will see results. Check your analytics once or twice a week, pay attention to watch time, click-through rate, audience retention, make some notes, and use those notes to improve your content. And yeah, get to creating instead of just freaking hyper analyzing everything in your analytics dashboard. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is certainly what I'm going to do now that I've returned to YouTube. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, because it's literally the blueprint for my new YouTube strategy. And if you're also a creator and you're feeling a bit lost, I would encourage you to take a few hours out of your next weekend, sit down, relax, and try to answer these 10 questions as truthfully as possible, and really try to go deep, so deep that you find Adele. Forgive me, it's midnight, I'm tired, and I have this fucking light in my face that's killing me. But it's I'm almost finishing, so all good. I want to make a really quick disclaimer here. I'm usually quite wary of who I take advice from. I usually only take advice from people who have done what they preach. So why am I talking about this? I obviously haven't grown as a creator yet. I haven't made it, and I'm trying to give tips on how to do it. This is not me pretending that I know exactly what I'm talking about. This is me sharing with you my new strategy that I'm going to implement from now on. I'm a brand new creator. I mean, I've done it for 2 years, but before I was just streaming. I'm new to YouTube. And from now on, I have this strategy that I just came up with last week. And these are things that I've been learning by watching other creators and getting inspiration from other channels on how to grow on YouTube. So I just process all the information and I put it in my own words and something that makes sense for me. So I just wanted to say that and be completely transparent. I'm not trying to seem like or look like something that I'm not. Take everything that I said today with a pinch of salt. If something that I said makes sense to you, by all means implement it, If something that I said didn't make sense to you, then forget about it. Don't do it. And this is just my strategy that I'm sharing with you, and I can only hope it brings results, you know. So yeah, just wanted to say that, and thanks for listening, thanks for watching, love you all, and until the next one, peace out.